So we are discussing about casing. So we are discussing about volute casing. What is volute casing? If the area, that is also known as a spiral casing, if the area of the flow will be gradually increases, so that is basically known as your volute casing. So if the area will be increases, then what will happen? The increase in area flow, the area of the flow will be decrease the velocity. If the velocity will be decreases, then it will be increase the pressure of the water flowing through the casing. Okay. So that is that's why from the inlet to outlet the pressure energy will be increases. Okay. So it has observed that due to in the volute casing there are energy, some of the energy will be losses due to formation of eddies. How the eddies will be formatted or due to why the eddy will be formatted? Because of that casing, shape of the casing, the when the water will be passes through the decrease into increase in area, it will be make some swell, and because of swell some of the energy will be losses, and due to some though the energy will be losses, so the pump efficiency will be slightly decreases. Okay. So to decrease the or to remove the eddies or to remove some eddies, then we are what you are using? You are using a vortex casing. What is that vortex casing? In a circular chamber is introduced between the casing and the impeller is known as a vortex casing. The casing is shape is circular type. By introducing this chamber, loss of energy due to formation of eddies is reduced to be a considerable extent, and thus the efficiency of the, though the loss will be minimized, then the efficiency will be increases as compared to your what casing? Volute casing. Then we will discuss casing with guide vane. That means the casing is also attached with the guide vanes. Okay. Before that, these are two casing, volute and vortex. There is no guide vanes, only the casings is there. But here it will be a guide blades or vanes are there, and these guide blades are act as a diffuser. Okay. And the guide vanes are designed in such a way that water from the impeller enter to the guide vane without shock. Without shock means if there will be shock, then energy will be the loss of energy will be there. So without shock, the water will be outlet from the impeller will be passed through the guide vane, and also the area of the guide vane is increases, thus the reducing the velocity of the flow and consequently the increase in pressure also. And the water from the guide vane then passes through the surrounding casing, which is the most of the casing is concentric with the impeller as shown in figure. So see, these are the three types of casing. Here from the inlet, discharge will be there when the water will be inlet here, then it will go to the backward vane, curve vane or impeller. From here the water will be outlet, and when it will be passes through the gradual increasing area, the velocity will be decreases and the pressure will be increases. And here also due to the shape of the casing, some of the energy will be lost due to formation of eddies. Okay. So next we will discuss is a vortex casing. What is vortex casing? So it is a circular type of casing. So due to the circular shape of the casing, here the loss of formation of eddies will be decreases. Okay. And the efficiency of the vortex casing will be more than that of volute casing. But in case of your that is just same when casing with guide vane, or you can say diffuser ring casing. This is your casing with guide vane. So here the casing and some guide vanes are attached, and this guide vanes is act as a diffuser. While to increase the pressure, the water from the impeller will be guided by the guide vane without shock and passes through the casing and it will be discharged. So these are the three casing. Then we will discuss suction pipe with foot valve and a strainer. Okay. So when the water will be sucked, the suction pipe will be used to suck the water, and one end of the suction pipe will be attached to the inlet section and other end will be the sump. Okay. So what is sump? Sump where water you want to lift the water. Some water is there at a pressure, some pressure. So the one end of the connected to the inlet of the pump and the other end deep into the sump. Okay. And in the sump, other end deep into the sump of the suction pipe. The foot valve, which is a non-return valve and one-way type valve, is fitted on the lower end of the suction pipe. You can see. You can see here. So this is the suction pipe. One end is connected to the inlet side, other is connected to the sump, where there is a foot valve and there is a strainer attached to the one end of the suction pipe. Of this, with the suction pipe, the one end which is inside the sump, it will be connected with the strainer and a foot valve, and this foot valve is a non-return pipe valve, non-return type valve, where it will be open only upward direction only. Not return means it will be only open in one direction, so it will be open in only upward direction. And what is the function of strainer? So it will be strain the water, strain the dust and dirt particle from the water. It will remove or separate, and first the water will be entered through the suction pipe through the strainer, then the foot valve, then it will be suction to the inlet of the impeller. Okay. Then we will discuss here foot valve. We discuss that is in open in upward direction. Strainer is fitted in the lower end of the suction pipe, where first the water will be passes through the strainer. It will be remove the dust, dirt and other contaminant. So delivery pipe. So what is the delivery pipe? So water discharge from the casing will be delivered to the will be delivered, and it will be delivered by the delivery pipe. Then we will go for working. So what will happen? See the working. So see, the impeller is connected to the shaft, and this shaft will be rotated by a rotating electric motor. When the electric motor will be rotate the shaft, so you are giving the mechanical energy, then what will happen? From the suction pipe, the water will be sucked. How the water will be sucked? When it will be rotated. So here some negative pressure will be created. So due to pressure difference, the suction pipe suck the water from the sump, and first it will be passes through the strainer, and strainer will remove the dust and dirt particle. Then it will be the foot valve will open in upward direction, and water will be flow through the suction pipe to the eyes of the impeller. Though impeller is rotating, some the water will be passes through the backward vane, and from the backward vane the water will be passes through the casing. When it will be passes through the casing, the velocity will be decreases and pressure will be increases due to gradual increase in area. And from the casing, the water will be delivered to the delivery tank through the delivery pipe. Okay, so that is the working. Impeller is rotating motion, force of water towards the circumference of the centrifugal force effect. Due to this negative force pressure generated at the center of the pump, so that water is sucked from the sump via suction pipe which you connected of the sump, and kinetic energy of the high velocity water is converted to pressure energy because of diverging passage of the casing. So you can see here how it will be working. So this is the inlet, electric motor is there. Here this is the discharge through the discharge pipe. Here the valve is there. Okay. See, the electric motor will be connected to the shaft of the eyes of the impeller will be connected to the shaft. Okay, the electric, you are giving the input to the electric motor is the input mechanical energy, and from here the water will be, this is the sump, suction head. From the, this is the sump. From the sump the water will be sucked by the suction pipe, and it will be enter into the impeller eyes, and from the backward vane the water will be moved through the backward vane, and from the casing it will be discharged. This is the discharge side, this is the inflow side, this is the outflow side, this is the sump, this is the suction pipe, this is the delivery pipe. You can see the function. Water will be out from the through the delivery pipe. Okay. Next we will discuss about the velocity triangle of the centrifugal pump. So though we know that the centrifugal pump in the impeller we are using backward vane. Here in the centrifugal pump we are using a backward vane, and you know the vane, forward vane, radial vane and backward vane, that we are discussing before. Also we are discussing that. See, types of vane: forward curve vane, then radial curve vane, then is your backward. So what you are using here? You are using a backward curve vane. So this is the relative velocity, make an angle beta here. This is the V0 outlet discharge velocity, discharge of water velocity. So it will make an 2 sine component and cos component. This is the velocity of the blade, and this is the relative velocity of the water. So in case of centrifugal pump, work is done by the impeller on the water. So impeller done the work on the water. So from there we get the work done. Okay. So The expression for work done by the impeller on the water is obtained by drawing the velocity triangle at inlet and outlet in the same way for the turbine. We know that how to draw the inlet and outlet velocity triangle for the turbine. Likewise, we have to draw the inlet and outlet triangle for the pump. From that, we calculate the work done. The water enters the impeller radially at the inlet. So, if it will be enter the radial at inlet, that means that beta is equal to how much? That is 90 degree. Okay. Inlet angle of the is equal to 90 degree. That alpha is equal to 90 degree. The inlet for the best efficiency of the pump, which means absolute velocity of the water, is make an angle 90 degree. So, here absolute velocity of the water at the inlet, that is your V1, make an angle 90 degree, because the water will be enter into the impeller radially. Radial means that is 90 degree, which the direction of the motion of the impeller is at inlet. Okay, see that here, that is the inlet of the vane, that is the outlet of the vane, leading section and section. So, here water will be inlet. So, water will be inlet radially. So, V1 inlet velocity, absolute velocity of the water, make an angle that is 90 degree. So, alpha is here 90 degree. This one is the blade velocity U1. This is the relative velocity VR1. Make an angle what? Theta. Blade velocity angle. Okay. So, here it will be out. It will be this, though it is a backward vane. So, this is the VR2 and phi, make an angle. Phi is less than, phi is equal to how much? That is a backward curve, and this is the outlet triangle. So, this is the VR2, make an angle phi here. This is the blade velocity. VR2 relative velocity at outlet, make an angle phi with the blade velocity. This is the U2, and this is your V2, how water will be outlet. So, water will be outlet in this direction and make an angle with the blade velocity, that is beta. So, V2 have two components. One is your VW2, that is V2 cos beta. VF2, that is V2 sin beta. Okay, hence alpha is equal to 90 degree. Though alpha having two component, that is V1 having two component, that is V1 cos alpha and V1 sin alpha. So, V1 cos alpha, that is your VW1. So, V1 cos 90 is equal to 0. So, the VW1 is equal to 0. The figure show the velocity triangle of the inlet and outlet portion. So, here inlet triangle, alpha is equal to 90 degree, beta is equal to here VR2, make an angle phi to the blade velocity U2, V2 make an angle beta, the blade velocity, and V2 have two components, that is VW2 and VF2. Okay. So, let here N is the speed of the impeller, D1 is the dia of the impeller. So, see, it is the dia of the impeller to the inlet, that is the radius is R1 and outlet is the radius is R2. So, what is your D1? Diameter of the impeller at inlet. So, U1 is the tangential velocity of the impeller at inlet, that is pi D1 N by 60. D2 is the diameter of the impeller at outlet. So, you get the U2 is equal to pi D2 N by 60. V1 V2 absolute velocity of the water at inlet and outlet. VR1 VR2 relative velocity of the water at inlet and outlet. Alpha angle made by the absolute velocity at the inlet direction of the motion. Theta is the angle made by the relative velocity at the inlet with the direction of motion of the vane. Okay. Beta, that you know, blade velocity. As the water entered the impeller radially, which means the absolute velocity of the water at inlet is radial direction. So, radial direction means alpha is equal to 90 degree. So, alpha cos component, that is your cos VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha. So, V1 cos alpha, V1 cos 90 is equal to 0. So, that is VW1 is equal to 0. So, centrifugal pump is a reverse of radial inward flow reaction turbine. Okay. So, in the what happened in the radial inward flow reaction turbine? The outlet is radially. That means outlet, the outlet angle of the blade velocity angle is equal to what? 90 degree. The beta here, that their beta is 90 degree, but here alpha is equal to what? Alpha is equal to 90 degree. But in case of a radially inlet reaction, the work is done by the water on the runner. In the radial reaction turbine, what happened? The work is done by the water on the runner. But in this case, by the impeller on the water, the work is done. Okay. So, what is the work done by the runner per second? That is 1 by G VW1 U1 minus VW2 U2, that is runner power by water power. What is the runner power? VW1 U1 minus VW2 U2 mass into VW1 U1 minus VW2 U2 divided by rho GQH. What is mass? mass is equal to rho GQH into V.